Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Wilbraham Senior Center, and welcome to our seminar today, sponsored by the Polish National Credit Union. And today we're going to explore avoiding financial abuse. And today we have a whole panel and a whole team that are going to talk to you. And I'm going to introduce you to Kevin Kober, and he is the Director of Retail Banking. So let's welcome Kevin. Welcome, Kevin.
You know, this is a very, very important subject, and we wish that we could just tell everyone in the whole world of what's going on. This is something that is really close to our hearts because we see so many scams that are happening in the industry, and so many of the seniors are being taken advantage of. So this is why we're out here, and we're just letting everyone know that there are things out there that you should say no to. And we're going to give you some examples. We had, last year we had a member who sold her house, and we tried to get in touch with her because she came into the branch and she withdrew $15,000. And we asked questions, because if that is not your normal transaction, we're going to ask the questions. What's going on? What are you doing with the money? So if we ask you questions like that, don't get upset with us. We're trying to protect all of you. She said that she was sending the money to her sister. Okay, that makes sense to us. So we let it go. The sister received the check, and she went to deposit the check at her bank. And that bank called us to say, something's not right here, because she wants to wire that money to Nigeria.
Dr. Phil.
So we then talked to our member and said, you know, is this really your sister? Because in conversations with the other bank, that person who received the check did not know our member. So we're talking to our member, and she ended up telling us that it is her fiance that's in Nigeria, and that she needed to send the money to this person, and that person was sending the money to Nigeria. Well, both ladies had the same fiance. But our member still did not believe us. She still did not believe us. And then she said, well, wait, just hold on, let me figure this out. So she comes back, well, now there's plan B. I mean, these people are really, really smart. There's plan B, there's plan C, because they know that the financial institutions are going to catch on to what's happening. So they keep going back with plan B, C, D. Ultimately, the money did go to Nigeria. She lost out. And even today, we tried to get in touch with her family, and you know, we didn't know where she was. We finally got a call from her son. She's in Maine, and the son is really understanding what's happening. And so he's got power of attorney. We were able to talk to him, and you know, she's probably out over $100,000. And that's just one thing, but that's constant. There are phone calls that people will say that, you know, your son's in jail, or your nephew or your niece is in jail, and you need to send money. You know, we had a member that got that call, and I don't have a nephew. So, you know, she was, that you know, said to her, something's not right. So if we ask you questions, or any of your financial institutions ask you questions, please don't get angry, because we train our staff to ask those questions to protect our customers. So it's for your benefit that we ask these questions. We might dig a little deeper, you might get a little frustrated. We're just there to protect you. So thank you for coming and listening. And now I'm going to introduce you to Walter Laskos, who is from the Credit Union National Association, and he is just going to wow you with all of the things that are out there.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, we got a lively group today. It's good. I'm taking my glasses off because, you know, when you get to be a certain age like me, you can't read and you can't see at the same time, so it's either that or you get bifocals, and I get fall over when I wear bifocals, so I go, I give up already. I guess it's the thrill of getting old, right?
Right.
Yeah. It gets better? Oh, that's good. There we go. Thank God. Thank you. No, speaking of thank God, I remember there was a shop down the street here. Do you remember back in the day it was a little pet store? And I remember going in there once, and you know, a lady went in. I was talking to the owner, and he said that, you know, a lady came in and purchased a rare kind of parakeet from him. And I go, what do you mean a rare parakeet? He goes, well, you know, this parakeet would pray the rosary all day long. I'm going like, oh, interesting. And he said that he also had another parakeet that was very fresh. And this parakeet would always go up and look at the ladies, go, hey, baby, how about a little kiss? How about a little kiss? Well, you know, it's the lady wound up taking that fresh parakeet home. She figured maybe she could rehabilitate him. But she was having no luck at it, so she took the parakeet back to the shop, to the owner, and said, you know, you got to help me with this parakeet. It's so fresh. All it wants to do is go, hey, baby, how about a little kiss? How about a little kiss? So the owner said, well, let's do this. Let's take this fresh parakeet and we'll put it in with the religious parakeet that just prays the rosary all day long. And maybe some of that goodness will rub off, right? Okay. So they tried it. They took the fresh parakeet, opened the door, put the fresh parakeet in with the parakeet praying the rosary, and the parakeet looks at the other one and goes, hey, baby, how about a little kiss? The parakeet with the rosary threw it up in the air and said, thank God my prayers are answered.
Is that a true story?
That's a true story, yeah. That's right. So maybe sometimes maybe it pays to pray the rosary, huh? But anyway, I think that the important thing here today, though, is like what Kevin started to talk about. And that is, you know, all the scams and the fraud that's taking place, particularly against senior citizens. I mean, it's awful. I'm going to share some facts with you here from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But before I go there, it's awful. And I'm so delighted that Polish National Credit Union is doing this extensive education for the members and for the communities out here in the Springfield area and the Chicopee area, Wilbraham. It's so important because the more we could educate, the more we could raise awareness of all these scams taking place, maybe we could save one of you. Even if it's one of you from losing $100,000 or $5,000, then we're doing our job, right? Because the more you know about this, then the more you could take action to protect yourself. So, I was up in Quincy a couple weeks back, and maybe you read about this in the paper or something, but you know what happened? A lady gets into a cab. She was 87 years old, and she asked the cab driver to take her down to the local Lowe's, construction store, because she wanted to buy gift cards. And so the taxi driver started talking to her and saying, why are you going there for the gift cards? She goes, well, my son is in jail, and we need to get him out. And the lawyer called me and told me if I buy $5,000 of gift cards and give them the numbers, that they'll be able to help get my son out of jail. So thank God the cab driver was a good Samaritan. And he said, lady, I think you're being scammed. And he took her to the police station, and they reported it to the police so that the police were aware of this. And that was the right thing to do. And he saved her from losing thousands of dollars. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine, somebody, a friend of yours says that I got a call? And that's one of the big scams going on right now, where you'll get a call. and it'll be like, you know, little Johnny's on the phone, you know, and they're so nervous and they're crying, so it sounds like it could be your grandchild, but maybe not, but you don't know for sure, but they're very quick, and they try to fool you and say, I'm in jail, you know, and I need help, can you please, and don't call my mom and dad, I'm gonna get in trouble, just please help me send money, the lawyer's gonna call you. And then next thing you know, they hang up, and then you get a call, and it's this lawyer, you know, and they find out all this information. You heard about, my grandmother used to call it the book face. It's actually Facebook, right? But you know, everybody posts all this stuff on Facebook and the social media, and that's how they find out all this information about you. So they could call you and ask you your name, they know what street you live on. These people that do this, they are making more than $40 billion a year on this stuff. 40 billion, and it's not just here in the United States, it's all over the world. You know, so figure, if they're making that kind of money, you know that they have the best kind of equipment, surveillance, the software, the computers, to be able to get all this information, because that's $40 billion. There's some countries that don't even make $40 billion, and look what they're making. And they're ripping off seniors, and that has to stop. And that's why Polish National Credit Union, Police Department, you're going to hear from the District Attorney, we're all trying to work together to make sure that seniors are aware of what's going on. Because we found out, and I'm doing this not only in Massachusetts, but in New Hampshire, and Rhode Island, and down in Delaware, where we provide service for our credit union members. And we're finding out that the best way to prevent this is through education and building awareness. Because a lot of these, if you get a phone call and somebody tries to scam you and they get your money from you, there's no way, kiss it goodbye. You can't prosecute it, you can't track them down, that money's gone. You know, so that there's nothing you can do. So we realize that the only way to really provide a prevention here, to maybe able to protect you, is to make sure that you know what's going on, that you can take action, you know how to protect yourself. So part of that whole effort started a couple of years ago when the credit unions in Massachusetts here decided we need to do something. They took a survey, they found out how bad it was and how many seniors are getting ripped off and scammed of their money, and they said we need to do something. So they put together a program online called CU Senior Safeguard. And what we did is we invited all our credit union members like Polish National and other credit unions throughout the state to have all your staff go to this program and learn about all these signs of elder financial exploitation. All the signs that show that somebody's being scammed. Get certified in it. So Polish National, a lot of them got their staff certified to recognize these signs, and that's why, like Kevin says, they'll ask questions. They'll do it because they know the right questions to ask so that they can protect the members. But then we said, well, you know what? In addition to all the staff, why don't we do this? Why don't we also make sure that the members, people in the different communities, our seniors, their caregivers, their families, that they also know about these signs of elder financial exploitation. So on our website, betterbanking.com, there's a whole program right there, CU Senior Safeguard, that you could actually go click on it and take this online program so that you can become educated in how to protect yourself and how to recognize these attempts that are made to steal your money from you. And you could ask your family members to take this program, you could ask your caregivers to take this program, but it's meant to help you protect yourself from these scammers. And like I said, $40 billion a year.
Let me just interrupt. You don't need to write that website down.
Oh, okay.
We are giving you some pamphlets
Okay.
that will have all that information in it. They were supposed to be in your bags, but we're going to get them now.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so that's important, so that you have that information. Now, this thing here is a pamphlet that recently was put out by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's the government agency that's supposed to be protecting consumers from getting ripped off by the big banks and all that sort of thing. And what they're reporting on here is they did a survey on what are called suspicious activity reports. Now, what that means is that all the different financial institutions, the banks, casinos, anybody that's dealing with money, they have to do these reports for the government when they suspect that there's suspicious activity. And the study shows the results of this survey that was done from the year 2013 to 2017. So 4 years they did the survey. And some of the results of this, again, it's not to scare you, but maybe I do need to scare you a little bit, because then you'll make sure that you protect yourself. During those years, here's a couple things that are very interesting. Here what they find. Let me get that page. 1/3 of the individuals who lost money during this period of time, between 2013 and 2017, 1/3 were ages 80 and older. So that's more than 33% of the folks were 80 years of age and older were ones that were losing money. However, the adults ages 70 to 79, that age group, they had the highest monetary loss, $45,300. You know? I mean, and losses were greater when the older adult knew the suspect. So what does that tell you? A family member. And we find out that through a lot of the data and the surveys about this stuff, that, you know, you get these phone calls about the IRS to send money, or, you know, the grandchild scam where Johnny's locked up and he needs money. Or sometimes you even have it too, you know, what's really interesting, like with the police department or the fire department, God forbid somebody gets hurt or somebody gets killed, right? The funeral's coming up. Well, you know that there are those kind of, I don't have words, I can't say what I would call them, but there are people that will go and they'll say, hey, I'm calling to take up a collection for Officer so-and-so who's going to be buried today. And they'll scam you, and that's how dirty they are. They'll use a situation like that to try and get your money. And of course, who doesn't want to support the police department or fire department at such a tragic time? You know, but they look at your heart and they'll go, we'll get your money from you. That's awful.